This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
The Angels are dead, folks. The Angels are dead. There's no other way to put it after a loss like tonight. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what is going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. My team, your team, our team, everybody's team. It's the Angels. And my, oh my, have we hit rock bottom? Have we hit rock bottom? You just knew, again, that after the deadline we had, there was going to be so much pressure on this team to perform. And with every swing and miss, with every Taylor Ward looking at strike three right down the middle, with every failed at bat with a runner in scoring position, with every foolish defensive play, with every foolish base running mistake, all of it, every single one would be highlighted, and there would be a magnifying glass on every single mistake because of the pressure the team is now on to win games, to compete, right? And the Angels did not even wait a couple weeks, let alone a couple months, for us to see officially what we knew was the case, which is this is not a playoff team, right? Despite the ups and downs of the first half, there was a scenario where the Angels could go on a dream run and make the playoffs. I didn't see that coming, or certainly didn't expect that to happen. But there was another scenario where the Angels could continue to be a 500 baseball team that would win some games, lose some games, and be competitive, not really competitive, GMPM, but be competitive, be average, right? Keep us watching this team for as long as possible. Keep meaningful baseball, as we like saying. Keep meaningful baseball happening for as long as possible, right? But boy, oh boy, we don't even want to see meaningful baseball, which was the simple, easy goal. A very accomplishable goal, right? We don't even get to see that because the Angels have already lost the season. It feels over now. Just 2 games into the second half. The Angels have 5 hits combined through 18 innings against the White Sox, guys. 5 hits. The Angels had 1 hit tonight. And if you didn't watch this game, you would think, okay, Zach Neto had a base hit. Guys, it was a dribbler down the third base line that if the fielder didn't go for it, could have gone foul. We could have been talking about Civale being left in the 8th inning trying to throw a no-hitter. We had 1 hit and it wasn't a real hit. 1 hit. 5 hits in 2 games against the White Sox. And again, you need to run the table against teams like this to even remotely make what happened 2 days ago at the trade deadline respectable and acceptable. But no. Instead of running the table is being run against us. Run against us. And so I will kindly ask my guy, Christopher, and you know you're my guy, Christopher, but Christopher, who else? I'm blanking. Angels fan first. I know it's all else. But you don't got to spam the L's. I know. I want to be able to read your guys' actual comments, so don't spam the L's. Spam your real comments and be as angry and fired up as you want to be. And I know it just feels like LLL. I agree. But man, oh man, it's just so frustrating. And so Dusty brings up a good, interesting point. He said, this is nowhere near as depressing as last year this time. True, the record was worse, but I was more satisfied with the deadline at this time. And so I know that this is a post-game show and not a post-deadline show. But guys, for the first couple of games, the first couple of series, the first couple of weeks after that deadline, I'm sorry. If you don't want to hear the word trade deadline, you're going to have to turn off the stream, because we are going to reference that trade deadline for the next couple of games because of how shocking it was in the moment and how stupid it looks right now. Already 2 games in. Fishy, bringing up a very interesting point. Why are we swinging 3-0 in the bottom of the 9th after only having 1 hit? Great question. At the same time, why is Taylor Ward looking at strike 3 on a 2-seam fastball right down the middle with runners in scoring position? Why is Zach Neto getting picked off at third with the bases loaded yesterday? Why is Gustavo Campero getting thrown out at third before Travis d'Arnaud scores? Right? But most of all, why can't the Angels hit at all? I mean, at all, right? The first half of the season, we were average, right? But the one thing we could rely on was our offense was going to give us an extra base hit or 2. Sure. Were we going to strike out double-digit times? Right? Sure. But we were also going to give you the occasional extra base hit. At home, we were going to feed off of the energy. Guys, we had 1 base hit tonight. 1 base hit. And I know how critical everybody is of Mike Trout, but you know how badly I want to see Mike Trout stare at 6 pitches and get luck into a walk right now. How badly I want to see Nolan Schanuel hit a weak base hit and everyone say, we'd like if he had some more power. How badly I want to see one of those games where Taylor Ward goes 1 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, but the 1 is a solo shot. How badly I would love to see Kyron Paris have atrocious at-bats, but give you 1 good swing. Same thing with a Matthew Lugo. Same thing with a Jorge Soler. Right? My goodness. We got nothing. And it's a combination of everything. Again, the lineup is disgusting. When your solution to my complaints yesterday of having Travis d'Arnaud DHing is DHing Gustavo Campero. When yesterday I said 2 things. I said, how in the world is a lineup that's competing for playoff spot, or at least they think they are, DHing Travis d'Arnaud and starting Gustavo Campero? We did 1 worse tonight. We DH'd Gustavo Campero. We call up Teodosio, who, nothing against him, he's not ready to be a big leaguer, right? I get it. He's got good contact. He's got great speed. He's a great fielder. And not only are we asking this guy to come in and be a pinch hitter here or there. No. If you listen to Ray Montgomery, Teodosio, he's going to be our starting center fielder, undisputed. Because Trout is hurt and now he's sick. And even if he wasn't, he wouldn't be playing in the field. We know Taylor Ward can't play center field. Joe Adell has been pretty poor in center field. So guess what? We have no other options. And so you have to call up Teodosio, who, sure, his stats are pretty good in the minors this year, but it's because he hasn't played many games. My question is, what happened to Kyron Paris? What happened to Matthew Lugo? Right on cue, Akura Man says, where's Lugo? Or Paris? I agree. Because was Kyron Paris a good big leaguer? No. Was Matthew Lugo a good big leaguer? No. But they showed you flashes. Give them a shot to, let's be honest. As much as you say this team is competitive, you're DHing Campero, you're playing Travis d'Arnaud, relying on him. You're now calling up Teodosio to start games consistently. So you're making it very clear that even if you think you're competitive, you're also playing guys that don't belong anyway. So you might as well put in a Kyron Paris, who had a week or 2 of being impressive. Matthew Lugo had a game or 2 of being impressive, right? If this lineup had a Kyron Paris and a Christian Moore back in it, eventually a Nelson Rada, at least it would be interesting. Because that's how rock bottom we are. We aren't even looking for the wins anymore. Just show us life. Show us something interesting. Show us guys that are going to go out there and be high upside players. Because right now, the floor has fallen. That's the biggest thing. We thought the floor with this Angels team after the first half was every game's going to be a coin flip. You're going to have 1 or 2 home runs every night, or at least, 2 or 3 extra base hits every night. And the question is a bullpen going to survive? And are you going to hit with runners in scoring position? Well, guess what? There aren't even runners in scoring position to try to hit. There are no extra base hits. It was still a coin flip game because of the pitching performances we had. And after the break, I'm going to tell you exactly why that hurts even more. The fact that the pitching was so good today, the bullpen at least was decent, or at least Chafin was yesterday, and you lost that game. So, again, if you lost these games, but it's because the bullpen was still bad, right? Chafin and Garcia still struggled in their new roles, right? And everything else was still the same. You'd go, okay, well, maybe you didn't get enough guys at the deadline to fill the bullpen in, but hey, at least everything else is the same. No. We are losing despite in this game, Hendricks having one of his best starts, the bullpen being absolutely perfect, right? One of the better innings we've seen from Zephyr John. Pretty solid, resilience from Brock Burke. Detmers, pretty darn good inning. Carson Fulmer, phenomenal inning. And yet we lost that game. So then what games are we going to win, guys? What games are we going to win if we're not winning a game like this? I mean, there's not we're 11 and a half minutes into the show. There's not a turning point because the Angels had 1 hit. The turning point was when they showed up to the ball game. There's not a player for the game for the Angels. So we'll give the player of the game. We'll just get that out of the way right now.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
It is Aaron Civale, of course. The guy gives up 1 hit. He only goes 6 1/3 innings. But let's be honest. He had 94 pitches, goes 6 1/3. But if that 1 infield single from Zach Neto was not an infield single, Civale would have pitched into the 8th inning, and he probably would have still had a no-hitter. It probably would have been 9th inning, no-hitter on the line, him at like 120 pitches, and either his arm would have fallen off, we would have gotten a base hit, or they would have taken him out. I don't think we were going to get no hit in this game by Civale, but heck, we might have gotten team no hit because we basically did, guys. We basically did. Our 1 hit did not even leave the infield. It didn't even pass third base. Think about that. About as bad as it gets. Erica's always the player of the game. I'm dead. Just so infuriating. I don't really know what to say, guys. 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. You leave 3 on base. You only got 3 guys on base, 2 walks, the 1 base hit. You struck out 9 times. Taylor Ward. I mean, if you want to talk about a turning point, because again, the Angels, the first 9 batters, the first time through the entire lineup, not a single base runner. But you had a shot in the bottom of the 4th. Leadoff single, like we said, the fluke single from Neto. Then a weird disengagement violation, called the balk, advances Neto to second. Sean Wells immediately walked. You have first and second with nobody out. So dang it, just because we weren't going to get to do it otherwise.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
This is the closest thing we'll get to a turning point, right? Turning point, 2 on, nobody out. And Taylor Ward, not only your best hitter, supposedly, not only a guy that was so great that you just couldn't trade him away for prospects because, God, he just means too much to this team. Called strike, outside corner, takes a ball, called strike, outside corner, but really not on the corner. The one thing you can't do is get called for strikes. A pop-up would have been better than that. I mean, call me crazy. Even grounding into a double play where you advance the guy to third, you could make an argument that might even be better than striking out looking. From the heart of your order. Ridiculous. So with all the, and by the way, then Joe Adell lined out and Yohan Moncada struck out, and that just like that, the inning was over, and that was it, right? 2 of the 3 base runners in the game came in the 4th. Luis Rengifo was walked with 1 out in the 5th, but then, of course, Campero strikes out immediately after that, and then Tio Dioso flies out immediately after that, and the Angels didn't sniff a base runner, didn't have a base runner in innings 6, 7, 8, or 9, and then, of course, like you mentioned, Taylor Ward caps off his abysmal performance with a 3-0 flyout in the bottom of the 9th inning. We're going to take our break. When we come back, I don't even know. We'll look forward to tomorrow and see what we could come from that, because that's the other irony of things is now you've got your worst starting pitchers coming up tomorrow. If you get swept by the White Sox, the season is absolutely over. And I guess we'll take a quick look at the AL wildcard standings just so we can get a reminder of how ridiculous it is that we think we are in it. But we'll do all of that after our break here on a losing edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Now, on this Saturday night, today's show is once again brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. And I finally got that beautiful overlay there so you can see it as well. It's time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. I'll be honest, that's me today. Today was my rest day, which means I'm not taking the pre-workout. I'm not getting a lift in. I'm not, blaring music and getting fired up. And on days like this where I was just kind of doing chores around my apartment and eventually sitting down and watching this abysmal Angels game, I just feel tired, man. I just feel tired. And, the only thing that gets me through a day like this, it is 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. But if you are doing active things like working out or, like we say here, talking about your golf game, it's all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the bev cart. So if you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use the promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion flavored 5 Hour Energy shots today. Back here live after one of the worst losses of the season for our Angels here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. White Sox 1, Angels 1 hit, 0 runs, 1 hit, 3 base runners, and the 1 hit was a weak dribbler and a shocking shutout loss on Saturday at the Big A. The only fireworks certainly coming after the ball game. We have to give our credit to Kyle Hendricks in this one, guys. We've been critical of him at times, but again, it just shows that even when you have a guy like Kyle Hendricks overperform, it's still not enough for this team right now, and that is so scary. Hendricks was good. There's no other way to put it. Just 2 walks, just 4 hits, just that 1 run, just 2 strikeouts, but that's not his job, right? The ERA went down today, right? That's your goal when you pitch, is for your ERA to go down today. And while 4.59 is certainly not impressive, he did enough today, guys. 5 innings. You would have liked to see him go a little bit deeper, but he still did enough. And honestly, he wasn't given a shot, too. You did take him out pretty early, only 73 pitches for Kyle Hendricks. I thought you could have given him an opportunity to go a little bit further into this game. But, the argument here is, hey, we need to take him out because it is a close game, because it is a 1-run game. We know how bad Kyle Hendricks is the third time through the order. The batting average for opposing teams goes up to over 300 his third time through the order. So I get it. It's a close game. You need to win this game. You treat this like a playoff game. Unfortunately for the Angels, treating it like a playoff game means bringing Ryan Zefferjon in the 6th, bringing Brock Burke in the 7th, right? But still, even with that, they get the job done. A great 8th from Detmers, where he does give up a leadoff single, but immediately gets the double play. The bullpen was great. Hendricks was great, and it didn't matter. The Angels take the loss, and oh my goodness, what a loss it is. Yes, as people are saying here, Christian Moore. Oh, wow. Okay. I think that's John in here saying Christian Moore went 2 for 3 with 2 walks, a home run, 2 RBIs, 2 runs. Obviously, the home run being the biggest part of that. Come back tomorrow, please. Amen. I mean, not only do you need Christian Moore because you actually need a competent bat, you need some athleticism on the field and on the bases, but just the energy, all right? The whole point. We hear Perry say foolish things like, hey, we got good vibes in this locker room. Well, if there is one guy that you can inject into this lineup and bring good vibes, it's Christian Moore. Now, again, is that enough to actually turn this team into a team that can win? No, but talk about the 5 Hour Energy Transfusion shot. That's what Christian Moore can hopefully be for this team very soon, right? Because I get it. You try it with Tio Diosio, but I mean, is he really going to be it? Again, my recommendation, my suggestion, my thing is I would love to see Kyron Paris be that. Akura Man and I continue to be on the same page because we say things at the exact same time. But yes, Kyron Paris would be a nice level of energy as well. And I do think Mike Trout coming back will add some things to this team as well. I mean, as much as we love to be critical of him, it seems like this team, they feed off of his energy. They feed off of his leadership. And while we're scoffing at the games where he would go 1 for 4 with the walk, we would really take 1 for 4 with the walk right now, right? We really, really would. So hopefully Christian Moore is back soon. We need him. We need the energy. We need the pop, right? He was clutch in late moments despite him being young. And while the average was certainly not amazing yet, that will improve. While the fielding is not perfect yet, that will improve. The moral of the story is we'll take anything we can get right now. Real quick, just for fun, let's look at the standings and just remind you why it was so ridiculous that we didn't sell at the deadline, but also show you that nothing has really changed since the deadline. And while it's only been 2 games, right? Still, when you lose 2 games to the White Sox and everyone else in this race was a buyer at the deadline, you could easily have fallen to 6-7 games back, right? I do see now that it is officially a loss. It's now 5.5. 5.5 games back of a playoff spot. That's still not impossible, but guys, it's still extremely unlikely. And you've now lost 3 in a row. You're now 4-6 in your last 10. Meanwhile, you look at not only the 3 teams that are actually in the wild card, but you look, I mean, the Red Sox 7-3 in their last 10. They've won 4 in a row, right? Obviously, the Yankees are struggling, 2 losses after the deadline. But obviously they bought and they will still be a good team. They're still way better than us. And the Mariners, of course, they are huge buyers at the deadline as well. But guys, look at the next 3 teams. The Texas Rangers, 6-4 in their last 10. The Guardians, 6-4 in their last 10. They've won 4 in a row. And the Royals, 6-4 in their last 10. They go and acquire Yastrzemski, right? I think they also traded someone away, but acquired someone else, right? And then you got the Angels, who have lost 3 in a row. You're 4-6 in your last 10, and you're still a game and a half behind the Rays, who are 2-8 in their last 10. My, oh my. My, oh my. So with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. Angels, 1 hit, 0 runs. White Sox, 1 run. 1 run. And they win this ball game. It's infuriating. But we'll be back here live tomorrow. Obviously, I call today a must-win game. Tomorrow is a must win game if you have any sort of dignity, right? You're at home. And again, look at the opportunity this was. The expectation was you got to win at least 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. But at the very least, but really, the argument is you should sweep the White Sox, right? Imagine if you sweep the White Sox and then you have 3 against the Rays. Say you win 2 out of 3 against the Rays. Well, guess what you do? You leapfrog the Rays in the wild card standing. Maybe you even pass one of those other 3 teams we mentioned, like the Royals or something. And then you're saying, hey, well, I still think the deadline was foolish. You win 5 out of these 6 games in really winnable games at home against the White Sox and Rays. Maybe you got a shot. But no. Now, even if you win tomorrow and even if you sweep the Rays, you might still be behind the Rays. I mean, it's just disgraceful. But the moral of the story is you can control what you can do in the next game, and the Angels will host the White Sox one more time tomorrow, 1:07 p.m. first pitch, which means I'll be here live around 3:45 p.m. So looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Yes, David, you're absolutely right. Excuse me. Let's get a win tomorrow. Please. Let's get a win. It's all we can do is win a game when we have the opportunity and go from there. So let's get a win. Fingers crossed. Also, want to give you guys a heads up. I'm hoping that I will be attending either the Friday the 22nd game or the Saturday the 23rd game at the Big A with the Cubs coming to town. So I have not confirmed that yet, but I know I do want to make up for the months of saying we would have a meet and greet, and then finally I go to a game and it's last minute like it was a week or so ago. So just mark it on your calendars. Don't go buy tickets yet or anything like that. I mean, obviously buy them if you're already planning, but the 22nd, that Friday, or Saturday, the 23rd, both 6:38 first pitch games. I would love to meet you guys at one of those if we can do it. So with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow around 3:45, 4 p.m. for that day game postcast. Have a great rest of your Saturday night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Angels. Take care.